Scooting right in there, Karen. Well done,
Got
well
that
done, well
dong
done.
again.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to the news updates again. This is our 212th 212 episode, and we are so glad to be here with you at the start of the next section. It's the holiday season keeps roaring on from Halloween, and here we are. Check out the studio. Love it. Well done, Mark.
Yes, very well done, Mark. Well, thank you, Laurel. I still don't get out. I'm still am the last one to get out here, and it takes me a while to get situated. But oh well, such is life. So anyway, you guys, we have been bringing you the news you need to know since 2018. Every week, our reporters scour the web, the blogs, the news feeds, and go around the AltSpace VR community to gather the news for you.
That's right. As members of this community, we do this so you don't have to, so to speak. We work all week long to find the news you need to know about our AltSpace VR community, the metaverse, and beyond, and bring it to you, just you guys, every Saturday.
We do this not because we're Altspace and VR employees, because we're not, but we are passionate community members just like you. We're led by our faithful and resourceful and amazingly talented world building producer Mark, running the show behind the scenes and pulling our strings. Yes, we love us a Mark.
We sure do. Remember, this is your show as well as ours. If you'd like to join our team, we'd love to have you on board. It's an excellent way to get advanced training in VR event production and management.
We have plenty of news for you to share. We want to share it with you, so let's get rocking.
Woo!
Here we go. AltSpace VR is gearing up for the holidays, as you can see around us. Honestly, there is nothing more fun than AltSpace VR for the holidays. We were just talking about it backstage and remembering some of the fun times we had last year.
Oh,
We look
so
forward
wonderful.
to running into all of you at different Christmas events this year in AltSpace. So, seriously, we love it.
It is so fun. You know, one of the things I love is that in the real world, I don't have to put up a Christmas tree and lights. Okay, it's fun, but I don't have to take them down. That's the part that isn't fun. Okay, take them down. I can do it virtually. It's wonderful.
So true, Laurel. You know, we have so many wonderful activities, events, and worlds to explore to get your holiday spirit in the mood. So get ready.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. News is out again this week. Can you believe that?
What?
That tourism is quickly becoming one of the hottest industries to embrace the metaverse, allowing travelers to travel to virtual destinations before they get to the real thing, if they choose to even go there. And by the way, here you don't have to pay extra for carry-on luggage.
That's nice. So the Hotel Rio Plaza España in Madrid with a digital twin right here in AltSpace VR, and it's really cool. I've been there. It's awesome. You got to check it out. Anyway, it continues to win high praise for its innovation and design for the five-star hotel featuring, I mean, I haven't been there in real life. I've been there here in AltSpace. Anyway, it continues to win high praise for its innovation and design for the five-star hotel featuring exceptional views from the rooftop.
Wow, travel in VR can move the tourist through history as well, traveling back to ancient caves or even through the amazing heritage sites featured right here in AltSpace VR.
Don't forget that you aren't limited to tourism on planet Earth. Don't forget the amazing magical worlds that take us into outer space or into the inner space of our imaginations. That's my idea of a wonderful vacation destination.
Yay! Things where you can't go in the real world. I love it. BBC News started a series of special news stories about the metaverse, and this past week, they asked the question about how could real and virtual people connect in the metaverse. The focus, as usual, was on body language and avatar limitations, and the idea that photorealistic avatars have to represent us in the future in order for us to connect and communicate.
Just shows a real lack of understanding of the
I
potential
lost your
for the
audio
connection.
there, Laurel, just for in order for us to connect and communicate.
Okay, Thank you.
What?
She lost my audio.
Oh.
Wasn't sure if it was
Oh.
me or her, but one of us. Usually it's
Oh.
me. Go for it, Marcia.
Just shows a real lack of I don't want to lead from your statement to this
That's
phrase. 'Cause
okay.
it's
But
not that I'm
it did.
understanding you. Okay. Just shows a real lack of understanding of the potential for connection and relationships in the metaverse, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, it's really fascinating that their conclusion is that the metaverse isn't ready for us to connect and relate to each other.
Really? Really?
Wow.
They are clearly not paying attention.
That's true.
That's for sure. But you know, the metaverse is here. We are here. We're here right now. We are
Yes.
connecting. We are building relationships. I'm so sorry they're so late to the party. Come on, catch up, you guys.
Catch up, BBC. Come on. They're missing out.
Catch
They're
up.
missing out. Okay, catch up.
Well, guess what? We learned this week that several Pico users have managed to make their way into AltSpace VR, and we thought we'd share their techniques.
For Windows users, simply connect the Pico to your computer as you would with the Quest Link and use AltSpace VR in Steam. For Mac users, it's a little more complicated because, well, it's Mac.
So, up on the screen, courtesy of Robert Vogel, are instructions. We've shared them in our news and updates Discord. It involves running the Shadow PC app connected to your network LAN and running the virtual desktop streamer on a Shadow PC that connects to your virtual desktop app on the headset. And I'm going to stop right there.
See, it's complicated. If you try it, let us know how it works for you.
I'm just stunned. You should see the long list of instructions that he sent me in addition to this. It was like, are you kidding? What happened to plug and play? Did we lose plug and play? I'm missing plug and
No,
play.
I mean, Mac used to
Oh
be
my
famous for plug
God.
and play.
Oh,
The Game Awards nominees were announced this week. There are usually events in AltSpace VR to celebrate the nominees and the awards, but we haven't spotted it yet.
Sony Interactive Entertainment looks to be a winner in something with 20 nominations across their gaming portfolio. Annapurna Interactive, Nintendo, Bandai, Namco Entertainment, and Riot Games round up the most nominees.
the nominees for Best Virtual and Augmented Reality are After the Fall by Vertigo Games, Among Us, which we talked about last week, by Shell Games, Bone Lab by Stress Level Zero, Moss Book 2 by Polyarch, and Red Matter 2 by Vertical Robot.
That's a lot of games. Have
Good
you
of you,
played
yeah.
any of these games? Any of you? Who do you think will win? Who do you wish will win? Let us know after the show on our Discord. We'd like to hear it. Now, on to the fun stuff you enjoy. We have very fun stories for you. Listen to this.
A couple of weeks ago, we highlighted some crazy real world Airbnb vacation places to dazzle and delight your world building imagination. This week, as part of the fun stuff, we found one of the most crazy vehicles, so to speak, to inspire more creative fun.
Well, honestly, when you think what you are building here in AltSpace VR is crazy insane, when you see this, you are going to believe you are thinking way too small.
Welcome to the Pangeos. A cruise ship meets floating island. Okay, maybe continent. Classified as a terra yacht.
Wait.
Like,
Terra Yacht? What's that?
Huh?
well, kind of just think terabyte. It's instead of
Ah!
terabyte, it's terra yacht.
It's a Terra
a-
Yacht. Okay.
Harry,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
It's a huge cruise ship, in the kindest of words, that has not been built but is proposed by Pier Paolo Lazzarini. Virtual spaces of the watercraft may be purchased as NFTs, and they're hoping to add funding through virtual property sales, in addition to a crowdfunding project for the estimated $8 billion real world floating monster.
It isn't a monster. It's a giant turtle.
It is seriously, folks. It's shades of Terry Pratchett's Discworld. A Discworld floating in the back of 4 elephants, standing on the back of a giant turtle flying through space. We're not sure where the inspiration came from, but here's the proposed real-world size for this thing that really should only be experienced in VR. Honestly, I want to explore this thing. Don't you? It is so cool looking.
That's for sure. It it is better put aside about half of your day to do so though.
I know.
It's designed to be 5,550 meters long and 610 meters at its widest point, the wings. It would house over 60,000 guests as it travels across the sea. It's 9 different, I never pronounced that word right. It's 9 different bows across
Uh-huh.
its
Bows, yep.
Oh, okay. Across this huge hole, have 30 meters of draft, a section underwater.
They've even designed it to be as unsinkable as possible. And we're all familiar with the past claims like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sink.
So there are 9 electric engines that would be powered by a variety of energy sources. Even with all that power, it would be a slow mover at a top speed of 5 knots.
Hence
Okay,
turtle.
is this bonkers? I mean, this is really bonkers, and I so want to see it in VR, don't you? I think this is having a turtle-shaped cruise ship is just insane. I love that.
That is insane. Well, and when you boil it down, basically, so we're on.
Oh, you're gonna love this. Yeah, you're gonna love this next one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So when you boil it down, basically, a VR headset is just stereoscopic goggles on some kind of microcomputer phone, right?
Well, students at Schaefer Nishimura Lab have been experimenting. I love this with powering a mini VR headset with Raspberry Pi. Now, how small a VR headset? We're gonna tell you.
I love this too. Small enough to put the little headset on a little mouse.
What? Rick?
Well, not exactly. The mouse's body and head are held against the small glasses for their visual research project, whatever it is, but it sure sounds awesomely exciting.
It's hysterical. The displays have a resolution of, dig this, 240 by 210. And the mouse stands on a treadmill that's actually a styrofoam ball. The mouse is monitored with optic sensors to determine the direction and the speed of movement, and is controlled on the ball. I love it.
But when you
I
think
think it's
about it, I
wonderful.
mean, it's kind of exciting. It'll be interesting.
It
to see-
Oh,
is.
Yeah.
to see
I
what
love
comes
this.
from this and how it affects the mice, and it's very interesting. Anyway, we've shared the project information on our news and updates Discord, but it now has us wondering, how small could VR go? Anyone up for VR with ants?
Hey. I want to see a VR headset on a spider.
No.
Whoa,
Talk
no.
about scary. No, thank you. No.
Okay. In other news, you remember the hoax played by Zuckerberg on all of us promoting the idea that interactive legs would be available in Meta Horizon, which is not true. Legboot, who we want him here. Legboot, a 33-year-old software engineer and artist from Florida, decided to take the leg joke just a little further.
He created a fake Meta avatar accessory, complete with packaging. I wonder what they mean by packaging.
Right there up on the slides.
And hid it in a Florida Walmart. He took a picture, of course, and shared it on social media with the comment that Meta had finally announced its most requested feature, legs, and that Mink Zuckerberg claimed how proud he was that his team's achievements in the digital appendage sector.
Did you pronounce Is that correct, Marcia? Didn't you meant Mark Zuckerberg, didn't you?
No, it's Mick
No.
Zuckerberg. We wouldn't want
This
to
is-
get in trouble for any
Yeah,
slander
we
defamation
gotta
here.
say it like
But
it
I
is.
didn't
Yeah.
know that Meta had a digital appendage sector, so we get to learn something new. Oh my God, I love it. So across all of us, on most VR platforms, what we do all wish for is legs, and this we are united.
Absolutely united. We want legs. We want legs. When do we want them? Now.
No. Okay, enough with the sillies. You got a whole week full of sillies. Now for some serious stuff that affects many of us very, very personally. Not only is COVID with us, with new variants that are here, many are not protected by the new variants are not protected by some of the vaccines. But even then, the vaccines have a much shorter life than anticipated. Literally just a couple months or so. So if you got your last vaccine like 6-8 months ago, you are not protected. Just want to let you know. But as if that isn't enough, flu season is upon us.
And COVID was terrifying. People died of it. We lost so many in our community. Today, fewer people are dying, but they're still dying. Many of those who get COVID end up suffering from the horrible long COVID.
Japan, South Korea, the US, Germany, France, Taiwan, and Italy have the highest COVID caseloads, with 41,000 people dying from COVID over the past month. It ain't over.
You know, for too long, just as people are starting to dismiss COVID, people continue to dismiss the flu as deadly. This year, it ain't your normal flu season, folks. Hundreds of thousands of people die annually from the flu. I had a student when I very first started teaching. I taught high school for 4 years before I went to elementary, and I had a freshman who died of the flu. And at that time, when I was young and naive, I didn't understand how a 14-year-old could die of the flu.
I had a student who's a college student. When I was teaching college, lost both of his parents to the flu 2 weeks apart. In my
Oh,
class.
wow. And that's
Yeah,
just
you
the
just
flu.
don't think about it.
That was before
Mhm.
COVID. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this year, flu combined with COVID and RSV in children, hospitals around the world are reporting that they're overflowing with patients and can't keep up with the demand. The U.S. Center for Disease Control has even come up with a new color to represent the flu. I hate to say this. The color
Yeah,
is
you're the purple
purple.
lady. Yeah, it's purple.
What does that say
Oh.
about me? I love purple.
I know, you're the dreaded disease woman there.
Well, Dr. Heartbeats, who many of us know and love here, is a pediatrician. And she told us that New York's hospital and emergency care services are on high alert for influenza A and B. Those alerts are out in many major cities on both coasts and starting to appear in Europe and elsewhere. Many are recommending putting those masks back on, washing hands, and staying away from crowds.
With the freak
My
snow. Oh,
goodness.
this is you. Yeah, are
Yeah,
you getting the
please.
snowstorm yet?
Yeah, please. No, I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Never know. Freak snowstorms are everywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
we get one about every 3 years for an hour or
Mhm.
two. Yeah. With the huge freaks snowstorms across to eastern Canada and the U.S. bringing meters. Why do they always say meters? We're in America.
Because we're not. This is an international platform.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bringing
We're the
meters of
oddball
snow
out
and
when it comes
ice.
to that.
Yeah.
Meters and meters of snow and ice and driving people indoors again for the winter. Expect the rates of infection to skyrocket.
Part of our love for alt space VR is that it is like a giant bubble, or as a friend of mine said, a giant condom, to help us safely socialize and connect with others. I didn't say that. I'm quoting somebody else. I'm quoting somebody else. I think it was Mark. Anyway, But it is. We're in this. We have a personal space bubble. But really, when it comes to all this, all space allows us to connect with others, to build those relationships that BBC says isn't possible right now. And we play here, we work here. Many of us feel like we live here. We love Alt Space VR because especially in a time of crisis like this, it allows us to stay socially connected with people and feel like we're not missing out. We're having more fun than most of the people in the real world, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. So, and you guys, until the pandemic and associated nasties return to normal, please, please stay safe, play safe. We want you to be happy and healthy and here with us in AltSpace VR.
All right. Now on to some world building news. Oh, you're going to love this. So, you want to experience making 3D objects like the ones AltSpace VR supplies in the world building kits?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aaron?
Or do you
Yep.
just want to play with an idea without having to learn all the ins and outs of Blender to do it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a new app that lets you easily start making, moving, and even melting together primitive shapes into whatever you can imagine.
It's called WOMP, WOMP, and it's
What?
way too much fun.
Womp. Okay. I want to have fun. It's nice too that it to use. That's
We
always
hope,
a good
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, what about what you create with it?
They're all yours too. Free to download as an OBJ, PLY, or an STL files and use it as you wish.
You'll still have to use Unity to import them into AltSpace as part of a template or a kit.
But if they look as good in world as they do on their website, it will definitely be worth trying it out.
Oh, God, it
This.
looks like so much. And does that look like too much fun? A
Oh
little
my God, look at
competition.
that.
It ain't
Oh,
Blender.
I can wear
Blender is more
Crocs.
sophisticated, but it is just too hysterical. And
I
what
could wear
fun.
Crocs on my no legs.
Yeah, there you go. It's just bonkers. So check that out. We want to hear what you build too. If you build something with WAP, please share pictures of it and stuff on our Discord.
Absolutely. This coming week, world builders will be meeting on Wednesday to share their world building experiences, tips, and techniques for a social networking event. This is a great time to brag about what you're working on.
Love that. We had our first holiday season world tour of magical worlds in AltSpace VR this week. It was amazing. It still seems like it's away, but December is like a week away, folks. 10 days,
Yeah.
something like that. And the December holiday storytelling events, the world world tour events, and others are all coming our way. This is going to be another huge annual event for our entire community here in AltSpace VR, and we'd love to have you be involved.
If you wish to participate in any of these, please let us know. We want to really embrace the global nature of the AltSpace VR community with worlds and stories that represent the holiday traditions of the world. Okay, now on to VR hardware.
Yeah.
So this week, we were surprised with the announcement of a sale on the Quest 2 from Meta. They rarely offer headsets at discount, and they raised the price this past summer, as we know. The pre-Black Friday sale, expected to end November 25th, brought the Quest 2 down to, get this, $349 and $429 in the States, and is expected to be offered in the UK and Australia soon.
These are not the refurbished headsets either, which are sometimes on sale. It comes with Beat Saber, Resident Evil 4. Oh, I got to see that one. VR and is that included for free?
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil? Oh.
Yep.
Gee, does that
And
mean
Beat
I have to
Saber.
go out and buy another headset to get it?
Oh no, you can pay for it. If you have a Quest 2, you can buy it yourself, but they may be on sale. They go on sale all the time.
Okay.
That is a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
So many are waiting for the Pico or the Quest 3, which are expected next year. But if you want to jump on a Quest 2, maybe as a gift for a relative, this is a rare opportunity.
And if you're still on is there anyone here on the Quest 1? Let's see some hearts. If you're still on the Quest 1, Anyone, there's still Quest 1 users here in Altspace. If you are, this might be a really good opportunity to jumpstart that process. Because we don't know how long the Quest 1 is, we thought it was dead and then they issued an update, so who knows. Last Tuesday, Rakesh from the UK Pico Interactive team presented a fantastic workshop and discussion, the first of a series on the new Pico 4 headset and other Pico devices and apps. In case you missed, it will be repeated in Engage XR next week. Part 2 of the series will be here in Altspace VR the first week of December.
The Pico 4 is selling around the world, mostly to enterprise and education, with the consumer version selling more slowly due to the economy and the flood of the Quest in the marketplace currently.
We were hoping for a date for the consumer headset to be sold in the US, Canada, and Mexico, but nothing yet. We've been told that the announcement could come at any time as the Pico team is setting up their offices and such in the States right now. Either way, this is still one of the most exciting headsets on the market, and we can't wait.
It's official. Well, just about. As we mentioned, in the EU is doing us all a favor, whether we want it to or not. And all cell phones, mobile devices, computer bits and pieces, and likely VR gear will all require USB Type-C cables, charging and connecting. Yay!
Now, yay! As someone with too many cables, I call them black snakes, under my desk, this is a welcome bit of news. I tripped over one today. I caught my foot on it and just about pitched myself over. It's like I got too many cables under here.
That's
So,
dangerous.
yeah, I know it. It's just insane. I really thought we'd be in a world without wires by now, but here we are. Anyway, at least there'll be less wires, so to speak, or the same wires. By the end of 2024, all manufacturers must comply, and we can't wait.
Sometimes we forget that the most important part of VR is the internet. Without access, VR is extremely limited, right?
Mhm.
Right. Survey is out this week. Speed Test Global Index found that the fastest and most stable internet speeds and access were found in countries with government support and infrastructure.
Norway and the United Arab Emirates are at the top of the list with an average of 132 megabits per second for mobile, followed by Qatar, South Korea, China, Netherlands, and Denmark. Even Bulgaria had higher average mobile speeds than Australia, Canada, and the US. And the UK, they didn't even make it into the top 25.
Jeez. For broadband, Singapore, Chile, China, and Hong Kong were right up there with 200 to 220 megabits per second, followed by Thailand, the US, Denmark, UAE, Japan, Spain, etc. Once again, the UK wasn't even in the top 25 for broadband. Unbelievable.
It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
I off same topic, I talked to someone from Germany and they're so far behind with their broadband and everything. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Mhm.
Germany.
In some places, in some areas, yeah.
Yeah. These are general averages based on people testing in different countries. When it comes to good metaverse experience, we need our speed and our bandwidth, right? Test
Yes.
your own at speedtest.net and let us know in your Discord or our Discord where you are and what speeds you're getting. I'm getting good speeds.
Yeah, I am too. All right, all of
I am
this
now.
makes the
Mhm.
announcement this week by the United States Federal Communications Commission pertinent. In an attempt to bring sense to the nonsense of the internet across the US, 6 years ago, the FCC proposed nutrition labels on internet providers and carriers. I think it's a great idea.
I
This
think it is
week,
too. It's funny.
yeah. This week, the proposal went into force, and U.S. internet service providers are now required to adopt a label format, much like you find on food.
The nutrition, I think nutrition and food, does it
Yes.
have
They're
potassium
making a
in it?
joke.
I
It's
know.
it's a
Okay.
joke. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The nutrition label is designed to bring transparency to your internet and cell phone bills. The label is to offer a breakdown of the monthly prices, additional charges, discounts, speeds, and data usage plans, along with probably many other details.
Mm-hmm.
What it doesn't offer is coverage, data throttling, which I've been affected by, packet
Mm-hmm.
losses, and other nasty things that IPs do to subscribers. They have to report typical speeds, not average or even highs or lows, allowing them to sound better on paper. For my current satellite and phone plan with AT&T, I had to actually create a spreadsheet to see what I was really getting. That's how confusing all this is.
Oh
Oh,
God.
Lord.
Yeah,
Really?
they sneaking in charges left and right, and y'all know that. Each country has their own way of handling this information, and we'd love to hear from you about what your internet provider is providing to help you understand about the internet costs and what you're really getting for your access to AltSpace VR, the metaverse, and beyond. What are you getting?
The FCC also released, finally, a broadband map of coverage across the United States. We found that the report includes more than just broadband, but most coverage, including satellite and copper, which represent ADSL and landline internet access.
And to test this, I narrowed down my area outside of Portland, Oregon. Now, as many longtime fans and news and updates know, I have battled for many years living on the internet shadow with crap for net. While we live and work literally a stone's throw from multiple Intel campuses and major software and hardware technology companies in what is called Silicon Forest, I've had to suffer with horrible internet access. One of these days, I just know Mark is going to compile a blooper reel of all the times I've gone silent, disappeared, and had to re-enter just to keep the show going. Oh, you've all seen it.
Laurel,
You've all seen it. Yeah.
Laurel, having watched you do that for years, we might laugh, but we really feel your pain.
I know.
Oh,
Thanks,
yes.
Karen. And thank you to everyone for all your kind words and suggestions over the years to solve this. Well, we hope we have solved this at great cost with a cell tower modem connection via T-Mobile. With great gratitude to Stands with Trees for his amazing support and help. But look at this is a map of the coverage of my area. This is as an example of what you see if you drill down in here. The blue is what they call coverage. The white is no coverage. Now, I've always wanted to see the internet shadow, and now I have proof. It's right up there. It's right up there. I live on the shadow. People thought I was joking. There is such a thing. So now the only coverage here, it lists what the coverage is. My only coverage is broadband, cable. I do not have broadband and I do not have cable, but the only choices are satellite or copper, which is the ADSL lines. And so it's just insane.
Absolutely insane. I'm looking at that map. You live in that little gray area, a shadow.
I live
Wow.
right on the edge of the shadow
Wow.
where the green dot is. Yep. And
On the
actually,
edge of the
half of that.
shadow.
Yeah, half of that is that little hexagon thing is actually half of that is shadow and half of that should be blue, but they don't divide that way. Anyway, yeah.
We've shared this important information with you on our News and Update Discord, as access to the internet is critical for VR and AltSpace VR and the metaverse. If you found a similar map for your country or county or city or house,
Whatever.
whatever, let us know. We'd love to highlight it for others.
But there's proof. There's proof. All right, anyway, I'm done.
Well, it's better than it used to be, right, Laurel? Now that you
It is.
set
It is.
up, so
Yes, it
much
is.
better. So, an article on CNET this week reminded us to recycle our old devices and gadgets. We know it's hard parting with that old flip phone from 1999, but it's time. While there are many options out there for old phones, tablets, watches, and even computer bits and pieces, what about headsets?
Well, before you take your old headset to the recycler, if it still has life left, give it to a friend. Share it with someone you know that will enjoy and use it. If they don't or won't, encourage them to pass it on to someone who would.
And we have other options as we're
What?
running out of time in today's show, so I don't want to keep this pretty quick. But donate, please donate your old headsets and accessories to the local school, to the school libraries. Call them up and ask them. They might say yes.
Another option to consider are retirement facilities and community centers. These places are often barely funded, and this could be an exciting new addition to their entertainment options. Make sure you take time to introduce them to how it works and also include the instructions.
But avoid donating VR headsets to thrift stores. They usually end up in the landfill. And our goal is to keep them out of the landfill as long as possible. Even consider the fix everything kid down the block who knows what may happen when they start fiddling with an old VR headset.
This week, as part of our series on VR accessories in time for Black Friday, let's look at some stocking stuffers to stuff into your stocking as well as your fellow VR lovers' stocking.
Lens cleaners are good to have, especially ones that don't just clean those greasy fingerprints, the chicken, but also reduce fogging.
Tell me you don't eat chicken while you're in VR. All right.
I do.
Lens Pen VR headset lens cleaning pen is a very popular choice on Amazon, as are many of the other ones. Be careful using them, as a scratch on the lens is really nasty to live with.
Well, hard to decide for someone else. Hint to your
Yeah.
family if there's a VR headset stand that would fit right on your desk or on the bookshelf behind it.
Kiwi makes some interesting headset stands that include holders for the controllers as well. There are so many different ones out there. Take time to find what fits your specific shapes, sizes, and needs.
Now, if your desk or bookcase can support it, consider a clamp-on VR headset stand. I use one clamped at an odd right angle on the bookshelf door right behind me, and it works. And there are so many fun headphone hangers and clamps that work for holding your VR headset. So they come in every size and shape and clamp and hook type. So check it out.
There's so many fun things to add to your VR accessories list. We have more to cover as we move through. We'll have more to cover as we move next week and into the holiday shopping season. So get ready as we look at VR headset cases and the equipment that many of us dream of. It's likely out of our price range, except during the holiday season.
Now, let's explore some news from around the metaverse. News you need to know as it impacts many of us. Karen.
Yes, a new report out this week says that the metaverse is expected to pump 1.4 trillion. That's not million.
Whoa.
That's not billion. That's trillion. It's hard to wrap my head around that. 1.4 trillion a year into Asia's economy. This number does not include the billions and trillions likely to pour into the economy through metaverse development over the next 20 years.
Report states that immersive XR technologies could represent about 3% of the GDP in Asia and seriously impact the global economy as it takes over marketing, communication, and educational industries. Exciting news to see this energy to encourage investors and investments.
Now, in looking at the economy reports and surveys that have been coming out, we learned some interesting statistics that we wanted to share with you about the metaverse.
In 2020, about 2 million people connected through VR headsets every month to virtual reality. Today, that number is over 171 million globally. So it's grown from
Per
2
month.
million to
Per month?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what it says.
55% of VR users found the experience to be extremely or moderately satisfying and fun. I love that stat.
Yeah. While we're all about VR, the AR industry is booming, and an estimated 95.1 million people just in the US alone are using AR.
The VR industry is expected to grow to over 100 billion in the next 5 years and represent a major part of the global economy in 10 to 20 years.
I
We'll have
swear
to
that
make a
economy
date.
number gets bigger and bigger with every report, doesn't it? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's great. It's awesome. However, on the downside, More research was released this week on cybersecurity and privacy. Common Sense Media's new report analyzed headsets, not VR platforms, and VR headsets software ecosystem for privacy policies and child protection.
They reviewed the Quest 2, HP Reverb G2, HTC Vive, Pimax, HoloLens, Valve Index, and PlayStation VR. They found that users are tracked the moment they put on their headset, and that data is collected and shared with third parties for profit.
Ugh. It's also a double share. Most headsets collect the data for themselves to use, and the games and apps you use also collect and use. None of the headsets make privacy a priority by design or coding, and all displayed third-party advertising to users.
The report stated that 57% of headsets have no parental controls and less than a third had any safety settings at all. It's cowboy days, man.
For sure. The personal data collected might surprise you. Depending upon the headset, it collected body posture, eye gaze, pupil dilation, gestures, facial expressions, and even small variations in skin color like blushes and even skin tones. A user's body movement is tracked in VR more than, are you ready for this number?
Yeah,
Go for it.
100 times per second. This means that
Wow.
30 minutes in VR could collect over 2 million unique data points.
That's just unbelievable. Educators in VR's discussion on Tuesday will be covering this and asking you how you feel about it and what should be done.
A follow up report done last year on harassment in the metaverse by Nem and Mila, a research company specializing in VR and anime in Japan, surveyed almost 1,000 people for this year's Social VR Lifestyle Report.
The majority of the participants reported that their experience felt real and brought up the concept of phantom sense, the feeling of something really touching your avatar that your brain interprets as a touch, something we're all very familiar with.
The highest rate of harassment, sexual violence, etc., was found in VR chat. No surprise. We were surprised to see Neos and Rec Room also at the top of the list. Meta Horizon made it the top 10, but it's really low on the list, even though it's reported on in the media more than any other platform.
They found that avatars influence the type and level of aggression against them. Biological males were more vulnerable to victimization if they were in feminine avatars, as were biological females in female avatars or in male avatars and speaking in a feminine voice. Avatars and people identifying as LGBTQ and minorities reported higher levels as well.
We also learned from the report that more people witness bullying and harassment than report being victimized. We believe that more needs to be done to recognize this grim statistic, help bystanders and witnesses learn what to do when they see someone attacked.
The report also added solutions. Most say they rely on basic common sense and community guidelines to determine appropriate behavior and responses. Just one of the many reasons we love our AltSpace VR community standards guidelines.
Mhm. 86% reported they want the metaverse to be safer and to be respectful. However, 77% said they do not want limitations by legislation, and 61% say platform guidelines, if enforced, that's the secret sauce, if enforced, should be good enough. Really interesting.
Mhm. All want platforms to allow unrestricted freedom of movement and interaction, but they also want stronger and more flexible tools to protect themselves and others. They wanted stricter moderation and reporting systems. I think we all agree on that, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, we've shared the report on our news and updates Discord. It's really fascinating. Check it out.
So definitely check it out. Okay, it's time now for our Discord tip of the week. Discord is our back channel communications tool used by AltSpace VR and events and many groups all across the AltSpace community.
Well, instead of a tip, we want to share a crazy Discord experience with you all. With all the pushback against Twitter and the determination to expand on their online presence, the UK Treasury decided to set up a Discord server. The results didn't quite meet their expectations.
Eager to enter the gaming community, especially on a platform that supports part of their target audience of day traders and crypto groups, the UK Treasurer thought they'd be welcome. Instead, they were attacked. Surprise! Saw
Caught
that
off
one
guard.
coming.
Yeah, that's for sure. Caught off guard, they scrambled to turn on the auto mod features and other security and troll blocking features. But there was time for the trolls to make their way with their nastiness.
If there is a lesson to be learned from this debacle, it would be this.
First, know your audience. Traders and crypto fans, they're often very computer literate. They love pushing the envelope. They also like feeling they're the only ones in a virtual space and that they control it. Know your audience and how they'll respond, right?
Mhm.
Know thy Discord seriously.
Mhm.
They should have had all the security and moderation tools locked in before they opened and opened up to the server to the public slowly, allowing people to check it out and figure it out before spamming it.
Mhm.
This is great advice for any group starting a Discord server. Build it slowly and they will come. Let it develop safely and organically. If you throw open the doors too soon, you never know what'll walk in the door, and they usually do.
Yeah, same with VR events.
That's right.
Very
That's
true.
right. Check the door. You can find more information in our news and updates Discord. And if you have news or tips, please share them with us, and we may share them right here. Now, on to AltSpace events.
Yay!
Yay!
JC Baby is hosting an adults only Nerds of Combat event after the show today to discuss comic books, anime, video games, and more. We love these and we need more of these right here in AltSpace VR.
We also have Vitality Reawakened is hosting another Sunday School dance party this week with the amazing live DJ set with Dr. Heartbeats, who is rocking out the Neon Rain nightclub to help you move to the rhythm, breathe in the euphoria, and dance the hour away. Too much fun.
Yay.
Too much fun. Let's do it. Monday, Simulation Nation as a special event with George Lucas sci-fi indie film PHX-1138. Even before Star Wars, Lucas was exploring sci-fi in movies. This should be a great discussion that likely will explore the past work of Lucas and how this film influenced future films. Wow, that's going to be exciting.
It is. As mentioned, Tuesday, Educators in VR is discussing privacy in the metaverse, a very important topic for all of us to understand what data is collected, how it is collected in VR, and how it is being used for us and against us. We're eager to hear your stories and learn more about privacy challenges in the metaverse on Tuesday.
Any poetry lovers out there? We love us some poetry and reading and sharing of Outspace VR. If you haven't been to any of the reading events and poetry and stuff, you are so missing out on some great stuff. Dr. Heartbeats is doing a World of Poetry event on Tuesday to discuss and share favorite poems and what it means to them.
Tuesday is also the next Chinese language educators in VR event. This time, talking about VR accessibility issues with generations across the ages. The event is hosted by Dr. Chen, a host of the Golden Bell Awards and a professor of training in industrial VR use for business and entrepreneurs.
Mm. Learning languages in VR is one of the earliest uses of VR. The Educators in VR team is meeting on Wednesday to discuss the tips and techniques for teaching languages in VR. The potential for language learning in all types of VR is so excited. And one of the oldest uses, so go check it out. It's amazing.
On Thursday, Angelic Healing has another fairy tea party. Fairy tea party. These are whimsical and joyous social events and remind us that we need to be a little more childlike, or at least tap into that inner child more often.
Oh, I love
Amen.
my inner child. Friendsgiving, as long as Friendsgiving, like Thanksgiving, only Friendsgiving, has been long been a tradition here in Allspace VR to bring together those who wish to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday together in VR. This year, Harlem Film House is taking it on with a fun Friendsgiving event on Friday. Go and enjoy some great music and friends. You know, a lot of us don't have places to go on Thanksgiving, and at least we know we all have each other here and we can gather with friends here, because that's what I'm
Absolutely, yeah.
thankful for.
Me too. Me too.
Me too. To all of our American friends, please have a happy holiday. If you find yourself in need of a distraction or you want to celebrate with the world, join us here in Altspace VR.
It's fun going on. All right, that is it for this week's news and updates. We thank you so much for joining us here every week and celebrating 4 years of the incredible news and updates every Saturday.
We are volunteers, not Altspace VR employees. We do this for you, for free, to help you better be informed, better be an informed community.
We live stream the news onto YouTube and Twitch every week, and you can catch up with past episodes and more about Altspace VR events, projects, news, and community activities as well in our news and updates Discord.
As this is the season to be thankful, and it's a season of thankfulness and gratitude, we want to send out a ton of hearts to our amazing volunteer team of reporters, moderators, filmers, and support team. Without you, we could not do this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And to all of our friends and community members, we are with you, especially during the holiday season. You are not alone. Stand tough, stand up, and most of all, in these uncertain times, please be safe wherever you are in the world.
Yay!
Yay!
Thanks, Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving,
Marsha! Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving
holidays, everyone!
to everybody in the U.S.
Yay!
And happy Thanksgiving to even